Lakers once again win a close one. Guys, they go to 13-0 in what the league calls clutch games. They have the third best record in the league overall. And on a night where the offense struggled at times, it was the defense and the rebounding and the tough play down the stretch, a formula that seems to be working for this Laker team. And Rob, also the brilliance of LeBron James and Luka Dončić.
LeBron James just dropped 30 points at 41 years old, while Luka Dončić matched him bucket for bucket. And the Lakers somehow turned a 7-point deficit into a 32-17 fourth-quarter massacre against the Pelicans. The same team that can't beat good opponents just held New Orleans to 17 points in the final frame. How does a team go from struggling to completely dominating in 12 minutes? What's the biggest fourth-quarter comeback you've ever witnessed live? Tell us in the comments. Let's get the obvious out of the way first.
41-year-old man last night did some pretty cool things. Dude, he still got it. LeBron James had a night.
LeBron James is 41 years old and just casually dropped 30 points on 10 of 19 shooting while looking like he's got springs in his legs.
Begin the night tied for fourth with Houston. There's LeBron! Throw it down with two hands to start the game. LeBron really active.
Meanwhile, most people his age are complaining about their knees hurting when they get up from the couch. The man is out here dunking above the rim, hitting clutch threes, and making it look effortless. It's genuinely absurd at this point. But here's the thing that makes this game fascinating. It wasn't just LeBron's show. Luka Dončić put up his own 30-point, 10-assist performance, going 11 of 22 from the field. When you have two guys combining for 60 points and both hitting 30, you'd think the Lakers would have blown the Pelicans out from the jump. Nope. They were down 7 going into the fourth quarter against the worst team in the Western Conference.
The dynamic duo of Luka and LeBron James here, Shanae.
Nasty. Come on.
What a move.
Not fair.
Split the screen.
And then right here, Luka once again, what a find to LeBron James. LeBron drinking from the fountain of youth in this game, Perk.
Oh, my God.
Let that sink in for a second. The Lakers, with LeBron and Luka both cooking, were losing to a Pelicans team that's in dead last. The same Pelicans team that's been injury-plagued and struggling all season. And yet, there the Lakers were, trailing by 7 points with 12 minutes to play. That's either a testament to how bad the Lakers can be against mediocre competition, or how inconsistent they are when they take their foot off the gas.
Lakers down 7 going into the fourth quarter against this team that's in dead last in the Western Conference. And what happens, the Lakers really crank up the defense. You got Dalton Connect taking a charge. You've got Luka Dončić taking a charge. I mean, I feel like they really did a great thing in that fourth quarter, holding the Pelicans, who can score the ball, to only 17 points.
But then something clicked in that fourth quarter. The Lakers outscored New Orleans 32-17 in the final frame, which is the kind of defensive dominance you'd expect from a championship contender, not a team that's been struggling against good opponents all season. The Pelicans, who can actually score the basketball, got held to 17 points over 12 minutes. That's not just good defense, that's suffocating, lock you down, make you question your career choices defense. And it started with effort plays. Dalton Connect took a charge. Luka Dončić took a charge. When your offensive stars are willing to plant their feet and take contact to get a stop, that sets the tone for everyone else. Connect also hit a big 3 during that comeback stretch, which is exactly what you need from your role players when the game is on the line.
You think about what LeBron is able to do, 10 for 19, 30 points out there just balling and looking very spry.
Dunking.
Jumping above the rim, putting his head, looking at, I think when you have moments like that, you think about that 3 he hit at the end of the quarter, you can tell he was feeling good. He had a little bounce in his step. He was moving the basketball. He was getting guys put in a position to score. So I think sometimes when you have an off night by one of your superstars, it's so great to have another superstar that's able to step up and take over a little bit.
But let's talk about LeBron's start to that fourth quarter because it was vintage stuff. The man looked at the score, saw they were down 7 to the Pelicans, probably thought about having to play in San Antonio the next night, and decided this game needed to end immediately. First couple minutes of the fourth, 2 threes from LeBron. Then he finds Vanderbilt for an easy layup. Boom. 7-point deficit gone. Lakers up 1. New Orleans calls timeout. Game essentially over. That's the kind of takeover ability that separates superstars from regular all-stars. LeBron didn't need to go on some extended run or play the entire quarter. He just needed 3 or 4 minutes of peak LeBron, and suddenly the Lakers were in control. The Pelicans never recovered after that punch, and the Lakers cruised to another win in what the league calls a clutch game.
Guys, they go to 13-0 in what the league calls clutch games. They have the third best record in the league overall. And on a night where the offense struggled at times, it was the defense and the rebounding and the tough play.
Speaking of clutch games, the Lakers are now 13-0 in those situations this season. That's perfect. Undefeated. When the game is close and the pressure is on, this team finds a way to win. Which is hilarious because for years, Laker fans watched this team blow winnable games against bad opponents. They'd lose to Charlotte or Atlanta or some random team they had no business losing to, and everyone would lose their minds. Now, they're winning these games. Not always pretty, not always convincing, but they're getting it done. When games are winnable, they're winning them. That's a massive improvement from recent seasons where the Lakers would somehow find a way to lose games they should have dominated. But here's where it gets complicated. The Lakers are 15-3 against teams below .500, averaging 121 points per game with a plus 6.6 point differential. Great. Fantastic. You're supposed to beat bad teams. But against teams above .500, they're 7-8 with a minus 7.9 point differential. All 11 of their losses this season have been by double digits. That's not great when you're trying to convince people you're a legitimate contender. So, which Lakers team is real? The one that outscores bad teams and wins clutch games? Or the one that gets blown out by quality opponents? The answer is probably both, which is terrifying if you're a Lakers fan looking at the schedule. Because February and March are coming, and the gauntlet is real. The Lakers are going to face a stretch of legitimate playoff contenders, and if they can't figure out how to compete with good teams, that stretch could derail their entire season. But back to tonight, because Luka's performance deserves attention too. This was his 20th game this season with at least 30 points. 20 games. He's been consistently excellent since putting on a Lakers uniform, and nights like tonight show why the trade was so crucial. When LeBron needs help, Luka can carry the load. When Luka's shot isn't falling, he only took 8 shots in the second half, 3 in the fourth quarter, LeBron can take over. That balance is what makes this team dangerous when they're clicking. You can't just focus on stopping one guy because the other one will kill you. The Pelicans found that out tonight. Focus too much on Luka, and LeBron will hit threes and attack the rim. Focus on LeBron, and Luka will pick you apart with his passing and scoring. The fact that Luka only took 3 shots in the fourth quarter, but still made a massive impact, shows his growth with this team. He hit 2 threes in that frame, both important buckets during the comeback, but he didn't force things. He let LeBron cook when LeBron had it going and made the right plays. That's championship-level basketball IQ, understanding when to assert yourself and when to let your teammate carry the load. Let's also talk about LeBron's conditioning because it's genuinely mind-blowing. Robert Horry, who played until he was 38, said his feet hurt, his back hurt, his knees hurt, everything from the waist down was screaming at him by the end. And he's not alone. Most players in their early to mid-30s are dealing with significant wear and tear. By the time guys hit their late 30s, they're role players averaging 5 or 6 points per game if they're still in the league at all. LeBron's in his 23rd season. He's 41 years old, and he's averaging around 30 points per game while playing significant minutes in close games. That's not supposed to be possible. The graphic they show comparing players in their 20th-plus seasons is hilarious because it's just Vince Carter, Dirk Nowitzki, and Robert Parrish averaging minimal points. And then there's LeBron, looking like he's still in his prime. The man himself said in his post-game interview that he's just trying to play as hard as he can every night because he doesn't know how many days he has left in the NBA. Which sounds humble until you realize he's probably got another 2 or 3 years left playing at this level. The way he keeps his body in shape, the way he manages his workload, the way he attacks the game, it's unprecedented. And here's the thing that doesn't get talked about enough. LeBron dealt with sciatica issues early in the season that limited his effectiveness. He needed a longer runway to get going each game. Now it's January, and he's back to looking like early season LeBron before those issues popped up. That's what makes tonight's performance even more impressive. He's not just playing well, he's playing the way he did at the start of the season when he was fully healthy. The Lakers' magic number seems to be 115 points. When they score at least 115, they're 20-1 this season. That's a pretty simple formula. Score enough points, and you'll win games. Against the Pelicans, who give up a ton of points on a nightly basis, the Lakers needed to hit around 125 to 130 to feel comfortable. They got to 123, which was more than enough given the defensive performance in the fourth quarter. But let's not pretend this game was some dominant wire-to-wire performance. The Lakers trailed by 7 going into the fourth against a Pelicans team that's actively tanking. Trey Murphy was balling out for New Orleans, and it looked like the upset might actually happen. The Lakers' offense struggled at times, and the defense was inconsistent for 3 quarters. That's been the story of this season. The Lakers can look amazing or terrible depending on the quarter, the opponent, or apparently the time of day. They'll dominate for stretches and then completely fall asleep. Against bad teams, they usually wake up in time to win. Against good teams, those lapses turn into double-digit losses. The fourth quarter defense tonight was what the Lakers need to be doing for full games, not just 12-minute stretches. Holding any NBA team to 17 points in a quarter is impressive, especially when that team has capable scorers. But doing it consistently against quality opponents? That's the challenge this team still faces. One positive is that guys like Dalton Connect are stepping up in big moments. Taking charges, hitting threes when the team needs them, that's role player excellence. The Lakers need that kind of contribution when they face tougher competition. LeBron and Luka can't do everything, and having guys willing to make winning plays makes a massive difference. The schedule ahead is going to tell us a lot about this Lakers team. They feasted on bad teams and struggled against good ones. That pattern can't continue if they want to be taken seriously as contenders. The gauntlet in February and March will feature multiple games against playoff teams, and the Lakers will need to figure out how to compete in those matchups. But for tonight, they did what they needed to do. They beat a bad team, they won a clutch game, and they got vintage performances from both their superstars. LeBron looked spry and aggressive. Luka was efficient and smart. The defense showed up when it mattered. That's a winning formula when it all comes together. The question is whether they can replicate that fourth quarter intensity for full games against legitimate opponents. Because 32 to 17 quarters don't mean much if you're getting blown out by double digits against the teams you'll face in the playoffs. So LeBron and Luka both dropped 30, the Lakers turned a 7-point deficit into a defensive masterpiece, and they're still perfect in clutch games. But those losses against good teams keep stacking up, which means the February gauntlet is going to be fascinating. Hit that like button, subscribe for more Lakers breakdowns, and tell us who you think is more important to this team right now, LeBron or Luka.